So how does a simple, low-cost automotive chip, the kind that costs just pennies, suddenly become the flashpoint in a global geopolitical standoff? How does it manage to shut down car plants on multiple continents and bring the world's most powerful leaders to the negotiating table? Well, the CEO of Mercedes-Benz, Ola Källenius, really hit the nail on the head. He said, "This is different. The issue is rooted in politics." And that's the key. This wasn't your run-of-the-mill supply crunch. No, this was a full-blown political crisis playing out right in the semiconductor supply chain. And for investors, this changes everything. Welcome to the chip market. We're here to break down the stories that are truly shaping the world of semiconductors. Today, we're diving deep into the Nexperia crisis. We're going to look at the geopolitical setup, the seizure itself, the shockwave it sent through the auto industry, that uneasy truce we're in now, and most importantly, what the new playbook looks like for investors. Okay, first things first. This whole Nexperia mess didn't just pop up out of nowhere. Not at all. You have to see it as the explosive result of years of simmering tension in the US-China tech rivalry. And really, the writing was on the wall. The red flags were popping up everywhere. You look back at late 2024, and Nexperia's parent company, WingTech, gets slapped onto the US Entity List. Before that, you had the UK government forcing Nexperia to sell off a wafer fab it bought, citing national security. And this was all happening while the West was tightening the screws on tech exports. So the key takeaway is pretty clear. By 2025, if you were a Chinese-owned tech asset in the West, you were sitting on a political time bomb. And that time bomb, well, it went off in the fall of 2025. The Dutch government moved in, took control of Nexperia, and triggered an immediate and very powerful retaliation from Beijing. I mean, the speed of this escalation was just breathtaking. Think about it. September 30th, the Netherlands takes control. Just 4 days later, China hits back, freezing all Nexperia exports. Less than a month after that, boom, a major Honda plant in Mexico grinds to a complete halt. A temporary truce was eventually put in place, but that initial speed, that's what really set the tone for everything that followed. And you have to understand the two different playbooks here. On one side, you had the Netherlands framing this as a defensive move, right? They're talking about national security, protecting intellectual property. But China's response was pure offense. They used their economic leverage, weaponizing their control over chip assembly to inflict immediate and maximum pain, right where it would hurt Europe's auto industry the most. And that pain, it wasn't a slow burn. It was immediate. China's move sent a massive shockwave that just paralyzed one of the biggest industries on the planet. So here's the core vulnerability, the real choke point. Nexperia's silicon wafers were made in Europe, but a whopping 70% of them were then shipped off to China for the final, crucial steps of assembly and testing. You see the problem? Europe's entire auto industry was depending on China for the very last mile of what they thought were European chips. They were completely exposed and didn't even know it. So when Beijing pulled the plug, it wasn't a small disruption. It instantly froze 70% of Nexperia's entire global output. The tap was just turned off, overnight. And the real-world consequences hit just as fast. We're talking about a Honda plant in Mexico, a facility that can churn out 200,000 cars a year, being forced to just stop. Production completely halted. And then, of course, the financial pain followed. Nissan had to scramble and set aside 25 billion yen, that's over 160 million US dollars, as an emergency fund, all just to manage the fallout from this one single component disruption. It's incredible. Okay, so obviously a disruption on this scale just couldn't last. Things did de-escalate, but, and this is absolutely critical, it wasn't the market fixing itself. This was a temporary high-level political patch-up job, a band-aid, not a cure. So how did they pause it? Well, it literally took a meeting between the US and Chinese presidents to get the ball rolling. Washington offered a concession, a 1-year waiver for Nexperia from some US export rules. In return, Beijing agreed to turn the tap back on, but with a catch. Exports would be approved case by case and only for 1 year. A classic diplomatic quid pro quo. But let's be crystal clear. This is not a return to normal. Not even close. The supply of these critical components no longer just depends on contracts or shipping logistics. Now it all hinges on a very fragile, politically driven agreement that could, honestly, just evaporate at any moment. Which, of course, brings us to the big question, what does this all mean for investors?
because the Nexperia crisis has fundamentally rewritten the rulebook for how we think about semiconductor supply chains. There's a whole new playbook now.
We're now living in an era of what you could call policy-gated supply chains. It's this new reality where a government can, with a stroke of a pen, just override a supply relationship that's been in place for decades. And in this new world, resilience, your ability to take a political hit and keep going, is way more valuable than pure cost efficiency. So 3 big, durable investment themes are emerging from all this. Number 1, regionalization. You are going to see a huge acceleration of investment in chip assembly outside of China. Number 2, redundancy is now king. Having a diversified manufacturing footprint makes a company less risky, and it should command a higher valuation. And number 3, legacy chips matter. These cheap, boring components, they're not commodities anymore. They are strategic assets. So who stands to benefit from this new landscape? Well, you've got your European heavyweights, Infineon and STMicro. They're the obvious go-to for car makers desperate for a secure, local supply. Then you have American players like onsemi and Texas Instruments, who are perfectly positioned to scoop up market share as companies start designing Nexperia right out of their new products. These are the names that are going to capture that flight to safety we're seeing. But here's the kicker. This story is far from over. That diplomatic fix that put the crisis on pause, it's temporary. There is a very real ticking clock, and it's set to expire in late 2026.
This really leaves us with 2 very different roads ahead. On one path, you have a managed truce, where the deal gets extended, but supply is always hanging by a political thread. The other path, the much more severe one, is full decoupling. That's where talks completely collapse, the export ban snaps back into place, and the global supply chain fractures for good. The risk of this whole thing reigniting is absolutely real.
So, the big takeaway is this. The Nexperia crisis was a massive signal flare. It proved beyond a doubt that even the most basic, everyday chips are now political assets. And for investors, that means the question has changed. It's no longer if the next politically driven supply shock will hit, it's where. This has been the chip market. If you found this breakdown useful, drop a comment, like it, share it with a fellow investor, and of course, subscribe to stay ahead of the curve.